What's good, YouTube? It's your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another video. Today's video, we talking about this Hornets Grizzly game that just happened, and one of the probably the season saving situations in a game where the Hornets were down by 30. I feel like some stuff really was uncovered here, and things is looking up for this Hornets team based off of some of the stuff we saw tonight. We're gonna talk about it.
Triple B's! AB the Hero, back at it, baby.
So let's get straight into it, man, because this is important. And typically I like to wait a little bit before I do these game recaps, because the NBA will really break this down and give you different clips, and they'll do it by quarter and all of that stuff when we're looking at statistics and all of that. And I don't think that they have officially done that yet. But man, tonight we got to see a lineup towards the end of this game that I think is what the Hornets team has been waiting for, right? We got to see Montrezl Harrell, Mason Plumlee, Terry Rozier, and JT Thor all on the court together, and it looked good. It looked good for multiple reasons. It was a point in the game where Melo was starting to score at a high clip. If we look here, he was 41% from behind the arc, but literally he was like 1 for 9 or at some, like, he was having an off shoot night and then got hot towards the end of the game. Let's see, 38% from the field. So like I'm saying, like, he was having an off night, ended up with 25 points. Rozier with 35 points. Rozier hot from behind the arc. Let me see. Oh shit, 35. He wasn't that hot, you know what I'm saying? 40%. That, none of that even matters, right? And then this is what I'm saying. Normally you could break that down by quarter and we can look at how hot they got quarter by quarter. But really what I want to talk to y'all about is I'm loving what they're doing here. They finally got some size. Early on in this game, it was a super highway to the basket. They would pull the big out. It would either be Mason Plumlee or Montrezl Harrell, make him guard somebody on the perimeter, and Ja Morant or whoever it wanted to would just drive to the basket and get a layup. Could not stop it. Even if you had a big in there, they just pull him out and then they get to the layup. In this lineup, it at least created 2 layers of having to guard, you know what I mean, of protection at the rim. Now, Ja Morant is Ja Morant, and he still was able to do what he was doing, you know what I mean? But it was a lot tougher shots, a lot more contested shots. Shit just wasn't easy. Everybody on the team couldn't do it. Ja could get to the basket and make some things happen, but it wasn't everybody on the team thing, and that's what's really important, right? In the NBA, you might have one dude, you're not gonna be able to guard him. You can't guard Ja Morant. However, we could make Zaire Williams chill out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? We could make Jaren Jackson look human, you know what I'm saying? That'd be nice. Desmond Bane, could we bring him down a little bit? Make him, you know what I mean? That's all we need to do. If you can go do that, then you'll be all right. Also here, you remember Zaire Williams is he was played on with Bronny just not too long ago in high school over here doing this thing, you know what I mean? So that's what this lineup does, right? It creates a space where Ja Morant can Ja Morant, but you know what I mean, everybody else can't be faux Ja Morant, you know what I'm saying? So I watched that game, I watched them close that out, and I was sitting here getting hyped watching, like, oh shoot, we might have just found something. I think that with Nick Richards, obviously, if you're playing Mason and you're playing Montrezl at the same time, you're thinking, who do you sub, right? This is where a guy like Nick Richards comes in and has to develop and have to be able to give you minutes if one of those guys need a blow. If you can get a rotation at times where you can trust and play a Nick Richards, a Mason Plumlee, and and Montrezl Harrell, and then JT Thor with that extra length it makes this a much better defensive team. Because the Achilles heel of this Hornets team, no matter how many points they score, no matter how hot people are on the offensive end, what always kills them is they cannot protect the basket. And when we just acquired Montrezl Harrell, the first thing I was saying was, yo, it's up. We finally got a dude who we got a big who's aggressive, and folks was like, yeah, but Montrezl a turnstile. Montrezl ain't playing on defense, and it's like, you know, I mean, you gotta take what you can get here, right? I think that his presence makes folks question if we want to go down a little bit. Like, come on, Trust play. I don't remember. But then with you had them two big guys down there, Mason, who was like a damn 7-footer, and then Trez and then Thor, who down there 7. It changes things. It changes things. That's something that they could figure out. I feel like this is a bright spot on this squad. But that's really what I wanted to get off first. Now let's do something we can get back to a normal recap of this game and kind of break down some of the other things that we saw just in general from tonight. What I will say is, I talked about this in my last review. LaMelo Ball, in essence, reminds me of, like, sometimes on the offensive end, like an Allen Iverson, right? He's a guy who is a volume scorer. You just gotta let him keep going. You gotta let him keep going, and the averages will catch themselves, right? It is weird though on this team. Is like he might get a drop a dime. There's a sequence where he dropped a dime, boom, got the ball back, came down, got a bucket, came down again, took a three, missed the three, and they said, all right, you out. And I'm like, wait a minute, he was starting to cook. He missed one. Like, let him keep rolling. I think he's a guy who needs to be out there. When we had that minutes conversation, like, legitimately, he need to be out there just trying to get his feel on the game. Even if he start the game 0 for 8, it does not mean he gonna end 0 for 8. My dog might start a game 0 for 8 and end up 12 for 16 or 12 for 18 or something crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's the type of skill set that he has and kind of the touch on the game. I think what is also, it's interesting to me is there was a couple times where he just did not get calls like that, right? 4 free throws, but there are times where he just going to the basket and was getting contact, or they got a couple easy shots blocked, and most guys would get a call, you know what I mean? And my man just don't get those calls, but is a hooper nonetheless. Obviously, played most of the game, I think going into the third quarter or so, not going into the third, but some point in the third or so, or the beginning of the fourth, he had 5 fouls. So they were kind of limiting his minutes to that home stretch where they let him kind of run through and play the majority, I believe it was, of that fourth quarter. And with that lineup, and once he got into that rhythm of being out there, it started to look good. Another thing that I want to talk about with that Trez lineup is teams respect Montrezl Harrell on the offensive end. Every time he touched the ball that late, they had to bring the double team. And then he was able to kick it around to somebody else. And then we had Terry Rozier going bananas from behind the arc late in the game. That's why I was like, damn, he was shooting the hell out of it. Because the fourth quarter, he couldn't miss. The rest of the game, you see here, 6 for 17. The rest of the game, he was bricking all over the place. But on the fourth quarter, he could not miss. Third quarter, he went off to, I think he had 12 points in the third. Another thing that's so interesting about a guy like Terry Rozier, and this is what I was saying, is they need to like just let the same stuff happen with LaMelo, is Terry rarely, it feels like Terry rarely comes out at times, right? And he could be having an off shooting night, but they still give him opportunity to kind of stay out there and then get it going, right? Ended up with 35 points a night, damn near a triple-double. Again, I had a triple-double last game, 10 rebounds, 9 assists tonight. But overall, man, I just got hyped, and I just had to jump on here and do this this recap ASAP because, man, I finished that game and was in here screaming. Oh, man, I'm talking about, it looked like they were about to be the get the brakes beat off of them, man. Like on some like it's a damn shame what they did to that dog type of time, and they were able to come back and make it happen. So I'm hyped. That was a great game. Tough loss, but you know what I mean. It's 125 to 118. Doesn't really tell the story of how interesting and dynamic this game was. It's your main man, AB the Hero. We getting out of here.
No, not peace. +1, triple B's. We out.